Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Great to be back.
Today we're diving even deeper into Japanese grammar, building right on what we did last time.
That's right.
Think of it as the next step, really. No need for a big warm-up. You're already in the zone for lesson 2.
Ready to go?
So today we're unlocking some, well, really fundamental pieces, things that will broaden your communication pretty much immediately. We're talking about how to say this and that in all their specific ways, how to say also, how to make nouns negative.
The is not form.
Exactly. And those super useful little words at the end of sentences, the particles that add so much flavor.
Sentence ending particles, yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, crucial stuff.
Definitely.
Yeah, our mission today is really to give you the tools for more natural, more accurate everyday conversations.
Right.
Because these concepts, they might look simple, but the nuances are, well, they're pretty significant. They can really change how your message lands.
Or if it lands correctly at all, I suppose.
Precisely. So we'll look at not just what they mean, but more importantly, how they shape the flow, the feeling, the politeness even of Japanese.
Okay.
Get ready for some, hopefully some real aha moments today.
Looking forward to it. Okay, let's start with that first family of words, the ones for pointing to things.
The demonstratives.
Right. In English, we mostly have this and that, maybe over there, but Japanese, it gives us more precision, doesn't it? Especially about where things are relative to us talking.
It does. Think of it like a built-in coordinate system. It's all about where the speaker is and where you, the listener, are. It's relative proximity, not just absolute distance.
Okay.
So first up, core.
Core.
Core. This means this thing,
Yeah.
and it's specifically for an object that's physically close to me, the speaker, right here in my immediate space.
So in my hand or right here on the table in front of me.
Exactly. If I'm holding this pen, I'd say, kore desu. It's this one.
Got it. So core is the speaker's immediate zone.
Precisely. Then there's sore.
Sore.
That means that thing, and it refers to an object close to the listener. So, over by you, within your reach.
Ah, okay. So if you, our listener, were holding a book.
Right. If you were holding a book, I, as the speaker, might ask, sore wanan desu ka? What is that? Because the book is in your space, not mine.
That's interesting. It really forces you to think about the other person's position.
It does. It encodes that speaker-listener dynamic right into the grammar. It's not just a generic...
That thing near you creates a kind of shared spatial awareness.
Exactly. It's all relative. Then moving further away, we have are.
Right.
This is that thing over there. It's far from both of us, neither near me nor near you.
So like across the room.
Yeah.
Or even further.
Yeah, across the room, across the street, something visible perhaps, but definitely outside our immediate conversational bubble.
Okay, so core, near me, sore, near you, are far from both.
You got it. And finally, there's door.
Door.
This is used when you want to ask which one, but specifically out of a group of 3 or more options.
Ah, so for selection.
Right. If there are several distinct items, and you need to specify which one, like imagine a display of different cakes.
Yeah.
You'd ask, dore suki desu ka? Which one do you like?
Okay, so core, sore, otter, door. What's really key here, you said, is that these stand alone, right? They are the noun in a way.
Exactly. They function as pronouns. They refer to the thing itself without needing to say the noun.
So if I don't know what something is, I can just point and say...
Kore wa nan desu ka? What is this thing?
Right. Not what is this pen, just what is this?
Precisely. The core itself stands in for the unnamed object. Super useful.
I bet.
Or, like the example, if the item is near you, the listener, I'd say, sore wa Pikachu desu? That is Pikachu. It's near you, so I use sore.
That Pikachu example is great. And, it's funny, the name itself, Pika for the sound of electricity, Chu for a mouse sound.
Right.
Yeah.
An electric-sounding mouse. It's a perfect little example of Japanese onomatopoeia.
It is. And how you can pick up bits of language from, games or anime.
Yes.
Especially newer games with hiragana readings.
Absolutely. And connecting back to if something's way off in the distance, maybe a building you don't recognize, you'd ask, are wanan desu ka? What is that over there?
And for door, with the food example?
Yeah, so, dore ga tabetai desu ka? Which one do you want to eat? Picking one specific item from the available options.
Okay, that makes sense for referring to things generally. But what if I want to be specific? Like not just this, but this book or that watch?
Right. That's where the next set comes in. Kono, sono, hano, ano, ano, ano.
Ano, sono, ano, no, no.
Now, the crucial difference here is that these are modifiers. They must be followed immediately by a noun.
They can't stand alone like core.
No, absolutely not. You can't just say kono. It has to be or you, konohon, this book, or sonotoke, that watch, or ano-e, that house over there.
They point to a specific noun.
Exactly. They modify it directly.
Now I notice the no sound again. Kono, sono, ano, dono. Is that related to the possessive no particle we learned, like my book, watashi no hon?
That's a really sharp observation. And historically, yes, there's a connection. While we treat kono, sono, ano, dono as single words now, that no does function similarly to how the possessive no connects things. It links the this or that idea directly to the noun.
So it's like saying this of book, almost.
You could kind of think of it that way conceptually, yeah. It signifies this particular instance of the noun. It helps cement that connection. But grammatically, in modern Japanese, it's just part of the word.
Okay, so what if I messed up and said koro no hon? You mentioned that earlier. Why is that wrong? Or what would it mean?
Great question, because it really highlights the precision. Konohon is simply this book. Direct modification. Kore no hon, using the possessive no, would mean something strange like the book belonging to this thing.
Ah, like the book owned by this concept or
Yeah.
this nearby object.
Exactly. It implies ownership by whatever koro refers to, which is usually not what you mean when you just want to say this book. You might say kono mizo hon, this shop's book, where kono means this shop is the possessor, but kono hon is just awkward for this book.
Right. Particles aren't interchangeable. Kono modifies, koro no possesses. Big difference.
Huge difference. It shows how specific the grammar is.
So then applying this, dono Pokemon would be which Pokemon, asking about a specific one from the group.
Exactly. Dono Pokemon asks about the noun Pokemon, whereas door would just be which one, if maybe you were pointing at figures without saying Pokemon.
Got it. Dono needs the noun. Door doesn't.
Perfect.
Okay, let's shift gears slightly. From things to places. There's a similar system for here, there, and over there, right?
Yes, follows the exact same logic of proximity to speaker and listener.
So what are the words?
They are koko, soko, a soko, and the question word doko.
Koko, soko, asoko. Doko.
Okay, so koko is here, the place near the speaker, my current location, like koko ga watashi no ya desu. This place is my room.
Right here.
Soko is there, the place near the listener, your location. If you're at the library, I might ask on the phone, doko yu to you? Asoko is over there, that place distant from both of us, like pointing to a mountain. Goko ni yama ga miyamasu, you can see a mountain over there.
Distant from both.
And doko is simply where, asking about a location.
Doko must be one of the most essential travel words. Where is the bathroom?
Absolutely.
Ah.
Tora wa doko desu ko is peak survival Japanese.
Ah.
And the answers use these words too. It's here. It's there, near you, or it's over there. Very direct.
Yeah, I remember being on a road trip once, completely lost after waking up and asking someone, Koko wa doko desu ka? Where is this place? And just being able to understand asoko desu when they pointed. It was such a breakthrough moment, like, okay, I can actually navigate a bit now.
Those moments are gold. That's when the grammar clicks into real-world use. Or like trying to meet a friend, right? You call them, Ima, doko, where are you now?
Yeah.
And they might say, Iki no mae de yo, I'm in front of the station. And then you'd say, Wakata soko ni iku. Okay, I'll go there. Using soko because it's their location.
Makes perfect sense. It's woven into everyday logistics.
Huh.
Okay, so related to things and places and using that no particle again, how do we ask whose?
Good connection. We used en der, which means who.
And we combine it directly with the possessive particle. So der no literally means whose.
Dare know. Okay, simple enough.
Yeah. So if you find a bag,
I could ask, well, whether no kaban desu ka? Whose bag is this?
exactly. Or maybe you see an interesting book on someone's desk. Hai, sorwa der no wan desu ka? Whose book is that?
Dare know plus the noun. Straightforward.
Very. You can even omit the noun if it's obvious from context, like we saw with other no uses. Ai or, kono kasa dare no. This umbrella, whose is it? The answer could be, watashi no desu, it's mine.
Right.
very useful for lost and found.
Definitely.
Okay, next particle. This one seems really common. Ia, mo, meaning also or too.
Ah, yes. Incredibly versatile and quite powerful in how it interacts with other particles.
How so? What's fascinating about it?
Well, the main thing is that it indicates similarity or addition, right? This thing too. But critically, it often replaces other major particles.
Replaces them. Which ones?
It replaces the topic marker, wa, the subject marker, ga, and the direct object marker.
Wow, okay. So it steps in and takes their job, adding the also meaning at the same time.
Exactly. It streamlines the sentence when you're drawing a parallel. Let's take an example. If I say, Chitek watashi wa gakusei desu. I am a student.
Okay.
And then I want to say that Tanaka is also a student. I'd say, Tibekazi, Tanaka-san mo gakusei desu. Tanaka is also a student. See, replaced est.
Ah, I see. Tanaka is now the focus lead by also to the previous statement about me.
Precisely. Or with sign a state tests. If I state, Ringo mo suki desu, I like bananas. Bananas are liked.
Okay.
And I also like apples. I'd say, Ringo mo suki desu, I also like apples. Replaced. Apples are also liked, just like bananas.
Got it. And for actions, with?
Yep. Kinu eiga omimashita. Yesterday I watched a movie.
Damaju a key. Anmoyo imashita, I also read a book. Replaced. The book was also the object of an action, in addition to the movie.
So it replaces those core markers. That simplifies things nicely.
It does. But, and this is a really important but.
Uh-oh. There's always a but in grammar, isn't there?
Yeah. Often, yes. So this raises the question, what about other particles? Like ni for direction or time, or de for location of action or means. Does replace those too?
Ah, good question. Because ni and de seem to carry, like, more specific, essential meaning. Direction, place.
Exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. Particles like cure and eyes convey fundamental contextual information. Direction to a place, location at which something happens. This meaning is non-negotiable for the sentence structure.
So can't just wipe that out.
Correct. Cannot replace them. Instead, it follows them. It attaches after R's.
Oh, okay. So it becomes nima or demo.
Precisely. For example, to say, I went to Kyoto, you'd say, Kyoto ni kimashita. The day shows the destination.
Right.
If you want to say, I also went to Osaka, you must say, Osaka ni mo ikimashita. The a is essential for direction and adds the also.
You couldn't say Osaka mo ikimashita.
No, that would lose the sense of direction. It might sound like Osaka itself went somewhere, or Osaka is also something else. It breaks the meaning. The has to stay.
That makes sense. The core meaning of ni is preserved. Same for de.
Same logic. I study at home. Toshi benkyou shimasu. The S marks the location of the action.
Okay.
I also study at the library. Toshokan demaju shimasu. The S marks the library as the location and adds that it's an additional place where you study.
Right. So are more about marking roles, topic, subject, object, and emphasis, which can take over. But provide fundamental context that just adds onto.
That's a perfect summary. Aha have a deeper semantic role that respects. It enhances, it doesn't replace.
And, of course, needs context, right? You need a previous statement for the also to refer back to.
Absolutely. You can't just start with me too. There has to be something established first that you're adding to or agreeing with. It needs that anchor point.
Got it. Okay, moving on to negation. We know desu means is. How do we say is not?
For nouns, the standard way is using jan, or its more polite form, janai desu.
Janei desu.
So the pattern is noun A, noun B for the polite form. A is not B.
Example.
Just drop the chains, korwa pinjane. This is not a pen.
Okay. And the casual form.
But you had dropped the pen.
Korowa pinjane. This isn't a pen. Used with friends, family.
Simple enough. But jane, it sounds different from this. Where does it actually come from? Is it related to anything?
Good question about its origin. It's actually a colloquial shortening, a contraction of a more formal phrase, dewanai.
Dewanai. Right. Dewanai means the same thing, is not. But it sounds more formal, maybe a bit more literary or stiff in casual talk. And even more formal than that is kref well owarimasen.
Kawa arimasen. Very polite.
Very polite, yes. You'd hear it in very formal speeches, maybe customer service announcements. But for everyday conversation, ja-ne and ja-ne desu are the go-to. They're standard, natural.
Okay, so stick with ja-ne desu for politeness, ja-ne for casual.
Exactly.
So if I wanted to say, this isn't sushi, is it? Seeking confirmation.
You'd combine it, wamoe sushi ja-ne desu.
Using that ne particle we'll get to.
Perfect. Or to be emphatic, ramen isn't Italian food, you know?
Right. Nice, Joe. Ramen wa Italia ryuri ja-ne desu yo. Using yo for emphasis. It combines really well.
This actually brings up something tricky related to not knowing. I remember being confused about wakaranai versus shiranai. They both seem to mean, I don't know. Ah, yes, a classic point of confusion, but a really important distinction. They both translate to, I don't know sometimes, but the nuance is critical.
Okay, break it down for us. Wakaranai.
Wakaranai basically means I don't understand or I can't comprehend. It implies a lack of understanding based on experience, logic, or internal grasp. You haven't processed it.
So, like, if I've never tasted natto.
Exactly. You'd say, ora yushika wakaranai. I don't understand if it's delicious.
Yeah.
Because you lack the experience to judge its taste. You don't understand its deliciousness. Or maybe a complex explanation. Setsumi ga wakaranai. I don't understand the explanation.
Okay, lack of comprehension or experience. What about shiranai?
Shiranai means, I don't know, in the sense of lacking information or awareness. You don't possess the fact, you haven't heard of it, you're not acquainted with it.
So, if I'd literally never heard the word natto before.
Then you might say, I'm not shiranai. I don't know, that word thing. But if the question is about its taste, and you know what natto is but haven't eaten it, wakaranai is much more natural. Using shiranai about the taste sounds like you're denying knowledge of natto's existence.
Ah, that's a huge difference.
It is. Or knowing a person. Terrenos ran, si famraso shit imasuka. Do you know Tanaka? If you don't, you say, ana shirimasen. No, I don't know him. I lack the acquaintance information.
So Wakar and I don't understand, comprehend, grasp through experience. Shooter and I don't know the information, aren't aware of, not acquainted with.
You've nailed it. That distinction is key for sounding natural.
That's a definite aha moment. Okay, finally, let's talk about those sentence-ending particles. Ne, and yeah.
Yes, these little guys add so much personality and intention. They don't really translate directly, but they're crucial for conversational flow and tone.
They carry a lot of weight, don't they? Let's start with that.
Okay, ne is primarily about seeking agreement or confirmation from the listener. It's like adding right or isn't it, or don't you think?
So it builds connection.
Exactly. It softens the statement and creates a sort of shared feeling, inviting the listener to agree or acknowledge. It makes it collaborative.
Examples.
Meeting someone after a long time.
Genki desu ne. It was only a while, hasn't it? You expect them to agree. Commenting on the weather. Shitenki desu ne. Nice weather, isn't it? Sharing the observation.
Seeking that shared feeling.
Right. Or admiring something.
Yeah, it's beautiful, isn't it? Inviting shared appreciation. It can also gently confirm info.
You viseru chirati pahariosnar of the sar pahana.
Meetings tomorrow, right.
So Vane is about consensus, shared feelings, confirmation, softening, making it mutual.
Perfectly put. It fosters rapport. Now, yo is quite different.
Okay, what's the feeling of you?
Adds emphasis or conveys new information that speaker is confident about, often implying the listener doesn't know it or needs to pay attention. It's like saying, I tell you, or, or adding a little verbal nudge.
Asserting information.
Yes, assertion, emphasis, sometimes a warning, or providing information you think is important for the listener. If someone doubts something you know is true. Daejubu desu yo. It is okay, I assure you.
Right, like the tonkatsu example.
Yours too?
Tonkatsu wa sakana yanai desu yo. Tonkatsu isn't fish, I'm telling you. Correcting them firmly.
Exactly. Or giving advice with conviction. You really should study more, Adding that gentle pressure or urgency. It's dangerous. Pay attention.
Precisely. It grabs attention, underlines the statement, conveys the speaker's certainty or the perceived importance for the listener.
It kind of reminds me of when I say, here's where it gets really interesting. It's like that kind of emphasis, bringing in something new and important for the listener.
That's a great parallel. It's exactly that feeling of highlighting something, delivering information with a bit more force or confidence. While it's not always aggressive, the intonation can certainly make it sound stronger when needed.
So Ness seeks harmony. Yo delivers information with emphasis.
In a nutshell, yes. Ne looks for connection. Yo provides direction or information.
And really understanding them comes down to listening a lot and probably trying them out, feeling the context.
That's absolutely the best way. No substitute for immersion. Listen to how people use them, the tone, the situation, the reaction. That's how you develop the instinct for when to use ne and when to use yo.
Makes sense. Okay, wow, that was a lot, but incredibly useful stuff.
You cover some core mechanics.
So just to wrap up, we've gone through core, sor, are, door for things.
And kono, sono, ano, dono for modifying nouns.
Pinpointed places with koko, soko, asoko, doko.
Fast who's with dare no.
Mastered the also particle, including its tricky relationship with ni and de.
Right, replacing wa, ga, o, but following ni, de.
Built negative noun statements with janai and janai desu.
And clarified that key wakaranai versus shiranai difference.
And finally, dipped our toes into the feeling of ni and yo.
Yeah, these really aren't just isolated grammar points, are they? They're tools for precision, for connection, for confidence in Japanese.
Moving beyond just words to actual communication.
Exactly. Understanding these nuances lets you communicate with real intent.
So for you listening, as you keep going with Japanese, really pay attention to these small things. They carry so much meaning. The particles, the sentence endings, they show how much is communicated beyond the dictionary definition of words. Which leads to maybe a final thought. How much richer could communication be, really in any language, if we tuned in more to how people say things, the pauses, the particles, the tone, not just the literal what, something to think about.
Definitely food for thought.
We really hope this deep dive helps you feel more confident navigating these parts of Japanese. Keep exploring, keep listening.
Keep practicing.